Let's talk about a universal time, okay? Now, as someone who has been playing AUT for several years at this point, I have seen it in its prime days, its original, you know, enjoyable, nostalgic days, and the current state of utter fucking garbage that it is. And I believe 5.0 still won't be the end of it, and neither will any soon to come update for the foreseeable future. I believe AUT has gone from a game that brought a handful of communities together, something that was interesting and fairly unique at the time, and I guess still now, uh, at least for the style of game that it is. Um, I think it's just turned into a big fucking nothing burger of consistent neglect from developers, poor decisions over and over, uh, a lack of communication between the developers and the testers, which certain testers have spoken of, at least to my knowledge. Uh, it's kind of just a cash grab now, isn't it? I mean, look at the last several months. I'd say close to a year with the premium shop and new skins that have been added to the game. Look at that and look at the prices. And any of you tell me how you think any damn thing that's been put in there is worth the price that it was set at. Like, really? Really explain to me in detail. How? Because not only are some of these skins the laziest fucking things I've ever seen as cosmetics, sometimes they outright aren't even supported like they should be. Be it unusual support, lack of interesting or new sound effects, visual effects, any of that has been completely ignored. I want to use Star Platinum Stone Ocean, the mythic for Star Platinum in the world, as an example. Uh, on its own, it's not necessarily terrible. It was definitely overpriced because, to my knowledge, because I don't care enough to go and fact check myself in the middle of recording this, or beforehand, or after. To my knowledge, it was around 40 something dollars on release before it got its price cut a decent little while afterwards. And I still think it's overpriced because not only does its unusuals completely fucking suck and look pretty much terrible to at least the majority of people I know that have seen them or own them, me being one of them, as I own one and I think it looks awful. Its quotes are really lackluster, and that's just one thing for sound effects and whatnot. Uh, it's there's potential there, and they just didn't do much for it. The pose music is boring as hell. It only has one custom pose music, and frankly, it's kind of ass. There were other fan-made options, or whatever else they could have went with, but they just took an official audio, and it happens to be probably one of the worst choices. Uh, I think the big selling point for it though was the spear instead of a bearing shot as a purely cosmetic change. And I mean, I like that. I think it's a cool addition visually. I think it definitely, changes things up, and it wasn't a bad idea. But that still does not make sense for what it costed at all. Um, uh, but to be fair, this one's kind of a stretch compared to some other options or other skins like Spectral Revenant for Star Platinum in the world, which is still one of probably the shittiest skins in the game, and it was a Halloween event skin. Uh, its unusuals are, I mean, I don't think you can really even call them unusuals with how much they're lacking. And aside from a different model, I don't think it has literally any other changes from base Star Platinum in the world. Maybe I'm kind of taking a stretch here talking about the state of skins over core game functionality because that's honestly far worse. But when it comes down to it, the way I see it is, if you're going to make cosmetics an option, be them free or purchasable, at least make them worth the damn to get, because a lot of the skins just aren't. especially not the paid ones. They're extremely overpriced. Most of these skins, regardless of the ones that are actually pretty good in quality and are actually really nice, I wouldn't pay more than maybe $5 for, and even that's kind of stretching it. I understand the inclusion of the premium shop and being able to purchase skins as well as being able to reroll patterns and charms from a financial perspective. I get it. You need money. Like, I completely understand. But if you're gonna be so consistent about kind of like popping out new skins and shit with like basically every update, at least make the skins kind of worth spending that amount of money for, because they really just aren't. I think at the point they are, they need to just generally have their prices cut and leave it at that. Because if the devs aren't going to step up and do anything to make them worth spending, I don't know, $30 to $40 on, I don't know any reasonable person that would spend that money on them. Which, I mean, is not saying much compared to the current state of games and cosmetics and how much they cost and all that shit, which is still awful. I think it's dumb that cosmetics are expensive in games as they are, because they're just for looks. They're optional, of course. You know, they don't provide advantages. I get it, but damn, they expensive for no reason. And then I'll go over the game passes real quick. Well, I guess just one. It's the what you call it? It's the one that kind of lets you have like, the portable GUI. I don't even want to bother looking at it because I don't even want to look at the game. That's overpriced as shit for what it does. And really all it's made to do is, I guess, make things a little more convenient for your typical player, I suppose, with item farming and such like that, or quests, which, be real, how many people really do quests? And how many people do you think bought that solely for quick access to the black market when they can just look up where the spawns are and go there on foot? Or with, I don't know, a free mount, which is a lot more sensible than spending the amount of money on that game pass that it costs, which I don't even know the exact amount for. I just know it's way too damn much. This is going to be kind of long-winded, and I apologize for that, but I was such a major fan of AET for a long time, and I think it's really just went down the fucking drain. Like, really badly. It's not even fallen off, which I think is the worst part, is that it continues on being shit, and it's working. Let me talk about gameplay a little bit. I don't have a whole lot to say for gameplay aside from the fact that things are majorly unbalanced a lot of the time. And looking at some of the sneaks and stuff for Delta, Crystallized, and Nuclear Star coming with the 5.0 update, I think that's a big addition to my point here, because originally when I wanted to do this, I was thinking about using Umber as the main example, because everyone knows just how fucking awful Umber is. Functionally, it's just it's awful. It's obnoxious. But then we got the leaks for Delta and Crystallized and Nuclear Star, and I believe we're entering the new age of AUT where power creep isn't even a question anymore. They're just straight up pulling it out of their asses. And I think they're going to continue to do that for the foreseeable future, because it builds hype for the people that are like, ooh, yay, look how powerful and cool it looks. And it won't even be fun to use, let alone fight against, with anything that's not literally the same thing as it, or directly an equivalent in damage output. Which, for shit like Delta and Umbra, that's kind of hard to figure out what's going to really even the playing field against them. And I do know that as of recent times, the devs have been a little faster acting on nerfs or balancing, but it has not been enough. Using Xeno as an example, Xeno was kind of nothing for a while, and then became really annoying, and then they nerfed it. And the nerf that they gave to it, I thought was amazing. It actually made Xeno fun to fight and to play. I started to pick it up, I actually enjoyed it, because it didn't feel like I was just mashing buttons and winning. And for as long as that nerf lasted, I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. I think that's a good stepping stone. I thought things would improve. No, because then they go and buff Xeno again, give him a mastery, and give him extra moves that make him even more annoying now. And they may have removed the stun on his stupid little auto-tracking shuriken shit, but that doesn't matter, because it's still free damage one way or another. If you don't have a counter, you're getting hit with it. If you block, you're just going to get hit by something else and comboed. And if you don't block, you're just going to take the damage. Anyways, it's unavoidable damage unless you have a counter. Like, that's really it, and I think that's stupid. You shouldn't have to rely on specific abilities to counter specific moves on other abilities. Everything needs to be equally balanced for one another so that everything has an equal chance. Because shit like Umbra against Stanless, alright, doesn't work out too well. And that's not even putting traits into the equation. Take this as the like a 1v1s, 2v2s perspective, playing casual or ranked. I personally don't play it much. I have. It's boring, and the server connections are almost always completely fucking awful compared to what you can actually manage to get joining main game. But I have played them. I've had some decent fun. Most of the time not, though, especially not against metamancers and really sweaty-ass rankies who are also metamancing or just playing like bitches, in the simplest terms. Now, that doesn't go for everybody. You know, there are some that I know that, personally, they're pretty good. I'll give them that. You know, they've got actual skill. But a lot of these guys kind of just fucking losers. And that's, you know, that's coming from me, who's unemployed and a dropout. But hey, at least I can admit to it, right? Balancing, though. Balancing. It's awful, and it needs to be the serious main focus overall for the game's longevity. Because long term, this isn't going to keep holding up forever. You can only build so much hype for releasing more slop. It wouldn't be a big deal if the game was actually fun to play in any meaningful way, but it's not. When your entire 5.0 update consists of stupid-ass fetch quests and more unbalanced stupid shit to deal with. Like, I don't really understand the direction they want to go in this, and personally, I might be a little biased because I really do just fucking hate the game for what it is now. I think it's just awful. It's terrible. It sucks. And I'm really hoping that at some point we get a game that finally puts the last nail in the coffin and kills it, because I don't see AUT improving anytime soon, and I think it does need to finally just die off so no one has to deal with this shit anymore. Because I understand the thought process of, oh, just don't play the game, and I get you. I do, because I've heard that several times now. It's less about the fact that I'm not going to play the game. It's more about the fact that I've seen what AUT was and can be, and it's just disappointing to see that the people in charge are refusing to go the proper route, which would secure an actual well-balanced game and a solid future for it. They would rather lean into money and dumb shit to, I don't know, make some quick profits and eventually let the game die off, because that's definitely the direction it's going. For the meantime, though, I kind of ain't got shit to play, because AUT was like the main thing I've been playing on Roblox for like the past, I don't know, 2 years-ish, give or take, somewhere around that length of time. And everything else on Roblox currently sucks. So if AUT could somehow miraculously, you know, make a major turnaround and get its shit together, that'd be amazing. Alright, but this has been long-winded, nearly 14 minutes of a solid image and me ranting over my disappointment of a Roblox game. And I'm a grown man. So I'm going to let this go here. And I do appreciate anyone that bothered to listen or whatever. And if anyone has any input, their own opinions, or they want to say anything to me, go ahead. I'm not going to call you out or bitch at you if you disagree with me. I don't care. Just comment, whatever. You know, do whatever you got to do. Defend it. Talk about it. You know, I'll do my best if anyone wants to communicate. But I had to kind of get this out because it's really been annoying to me because of how much I used to genuinely like the game. But I'm gonna drop this here.